I really don't want to do this anymore. I'm biased. I like regular comic pages. Hey, welcome back. This is Cetriya, Cetriya, and today let's talk about what's happening in the past week that's been going on for me. And first and foremost is no, I am not canceling my comic. However, I just want to talk real quick about a little thing called doing what you love. Now, I know a lot of you have mentioned or even have heard this kind of advice is do what you love and all the other things will come to you and all that good stuff. And that's the sort of advice that has started to gather a lot of people who aren't too happy with it. Some say it's not good advice and stuff like that. And here's how I see it. That is, unless you are guaranteed to get paid for it, it's best to keep your passion projects as a passion. And this is where it comes to why I am taking a pause on my accelerated squared comic. And the reason being is, first and foremost, I really just don't like the webcomic format. I don't think I have gathered a sort of style or method that I personally like. I don't normally read webcomics or webtoons in the method that they ask you to read it. I actually find it quite frustrating to read it that way. And maybe I'm just becoming old curmudgeon much faster than I should. But the more I look at Accelerated Square, I literally would be ready to start working on it, and then I would just take one look at it and just feel so not proud of it. So I don't know if it's just me needing to kind of get my stride or whatnot into the artwork. And I know for many artists, they're basically taking regular comic pages and splitting up the frames, but I feel like splitting up the frames take quite a number of work. And not only that, but to even qualify really for the webtoons, you have to keep up to a weekly schedule. So I experimented this and I figured with the contest, I could try it and at the same time and work on a story that I actually really love. But the more I worked on it, the more I felt not right. Now, I actually put quite an investment on this story. I've worked on it for about 3 weeks now. I've even paid a couple of assistant work to see how I could come up to the method of keeping to a weekly shot. And when I was setting that up, trying to set up that foundation, I also was considering that regardless whether I win the contest or not, I wanted to try 1 year of just going real hard into that whole weekly update thing. But then the more I work on it, the more I just felt like, well, even if I did that for the year, at the end of it, I would not have a product that I particularly care for. So another thing that has come to my mind, I guess, is Cross Star was supposed to be about monthly or every 2 months, and I most definitely have not kept up to it. And unlike Accelerated Square, anytime I look at my previous Cross Star pages, the more pumped up I feel like working on it. And I have been working on chapter 3 and trying to challenge and push myself even more. And I've worked out the thumbs and start doing the rough pencils. And when I look at those pages, I just feel really ready to go spend another 2, 3, 4 hours, maybe lose a little sleep over it, because it embodies what I like about comics. It embodies what I like, the looks and the aesthetics of that kind of old school manga look. It's just something that sings to me. And with the whole doing something on your air quotes here, quote unquote, free time, you really need to be working on something that you care and love, and not on something that you think, I don't know how to best say it, because it's not like I don't like Accelerated Square. To be honest, I saw Accelerated Square more like a young adult / light novel, and the way the story is, it would require some areas of like inner dialogue and a lot of detail that honestly there'd be no way for me to take a high concept sci-fi story with multiple worlds and get that within the webtoons. I feel, and maybe I'm biased or something, you guys can feel free down below to leave a link of some webtoons, whether it's on Tapas or whatever, that keeps to a relatively weekly or every 2 weeks story that is either very high fantasy or personally high concept sci-fi that really goes into world building, because I feel like in order to keep up to that kind of a quality of work, of storytelling, and it's not really my drawing ability, it's just in order to capture detail, it just takes time. It doesn't matter how good of a drawer you are, or you know, how much of a beginner you are. If you look at masterpiece work, and I am not that full of myself, I'm not trying to do masterpiece work, but if you look at masterpiece work, it's not like all of a sudden they did that in 2 hours because they're masters. They just add more and more challenging elements to try to tell the best story or give the most impact in their illustration as much as possible. So in general, I'm definitely putting a pause on Accelerated Square. I'm jumping right back into Crossstar, and I do have a number of other illustrations that I've been really having an itch to get into and work on, and hopefully you guys found this video interesting. I know it's sort of meta, showing you the work that I did, the last bit of work I did for Accelerated Squared, only for me to decide that I'm gonna go back to Crossstar. But you know, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Like, if you've read Crossstar so far, what are your impressions about it? If you worked on multiple projects before, what are your motivations for it? And of course, by all means, let me know, do you really want to see what I have worked on so far with Accelerated Squares? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for some of the new subs. You guys been leaving some nice comments. I'm glad you're able to find my channel. I appreciate every one of you guys, and I will see you all in the next video.